Hi, I'm Colton with Porsche Center Calgary, and I'm here today with the 2020 718 Cayman S. I absolutely love these cars, so I'll talk a little bit about kind of what the Cayman is, and then we'll talk about this guy in particular. So the 718 range, we have the Cayman and the Boxster. They are our two mid-engine cars, and they're basically just the coupe and convertible versions of the same thing. So this one being the Cayman, it's the hardtop. I find, top up, it gives you a whole lot better visibility than the Boxster because of the way it kind of closes off here, whereas with the Cayman you get this extra rear window, so visibility is actually quite good. Obviously with the mid-engine you've got exceptional handling, but also with the as a result of that mid-engine, you get the trunk in the front and the trunk in the rear. So compared to other two-seaters, it's actually really quite practical. But of course, most people aren't buying this for the practicality; they're buying it for the performance. So, of course, for 50 plus years, Porsche has been known for the 911, which is an outstanding car. Obviously, we all love that one as well. But some people will argue that the 911 has gotten a lot bigger over the years and become, more of a GT car than just a strictly sports car. And that's kind of where the Cayman comes in. It's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit lighter, and while maybe it doesn't have the prestige or the history that the 911 has, it does have just, certainly beautiful aesthetics. I think the mid-engine proportions are outstanding, but the performance is also very, very good, largely down to that size and weight of the car. So these ones now use with the Cayman S, it's a 2.5 liter turbocharged flat 4-cylinder motor. It makes 350 horsepower, 309 pound-feet of torque, and yeah, in this small lightweight package, that's a ton of power. It really packs a lot of punch. But let's talk about this one in particular. So starting with the outside, this is the new Gentian blue metallic. As I say, brand new. This is the first Cayman we've seen in this color, and I really like it. It looks awesome. It largely replaces the old sapphire blue, which was a nice blue too, but it was definitely more, I would say, of a polarizing color. It was a love it or hate it, whereas I think this one, so far anyway, speaks to a little bit of a wider audience. It has almost purple hues to it, depending the light it's in. I think it's really, really cool. And then the wheels on this one are the 20-inch Carrera S wheel. So one of the options, they'll start with an 18-inch and you can go up to the 20, which is what we have here. And then a giveaway, by the way, of the fact that it's a Cayman S as opposed to a standard Cayman is the fact that those calipers are red. They're a little bit bigger on the S models and red in color, where they're smaller and black on a standard Cayman. Also on the outside, the headlights. These have the full LED headlights, so the standard headlights will be by Xenon with LED running lights. These ones are fully LED and dynamic, so they'll turn with the steering wheel and look further down the road as you speed up and do all that kind of dynamic stuff. Auto high beam as well, so you can leave your high beams on. When somebody else is coming down the road, it'll turn them off, so you're not dazzling that oncoming traffic. And then moving on to the inside, this has the standard black interior, which is easily the most popular. We'll put that in the vast majority of our cars. And I would say it's popular for good reason. It really holds up the best, I would say. It's not going to stain the way the lighter interiors are. And it just always looks good. Always resale is very strong on it. So we'll put that on the vast majority of our cars. And then some other stuff we did in there. We put in the GT Sport steering wheel, multifunction heated GT Sport steering wheel. So you do have the buttons on there, and it is heated, but it's also a little bit smaller than the standard wheel. That's the GT Sport part, and designed slightly differently, so you have kind of those screw-looking parts in there, and the color scheme is swapped. The silver and black is swapped from the standard wheel. The result is this one just looks a little bit sportier, and that smaller diameter I find just feels better on the road than the standard larger steering wheel, so I always recommend that. We also put in heated and cooled seats in this one, which most people just find is a must-have, so that's fine. We put it in all the cars. Also the entry and drive, or comfort access, Porsche kind of changed what they call it from year to year, but the meaning of that option is that you can just touch the door handle to unlock the car. You don't have to take your keys out and actually press unlock. Then when you get in, you don't have to plug the key into the dash, which you would have to without it. You can just turn the ignition switch with your key in your pocket. So we'll put that on pretty well everything as well, which we did on this one. We also added the Apple CarPlay, which is a great option to have. With these, you can do it a couple of different ways. And by do it, I mean you can have navigation, or you can have Apple CarPlay. So the connected navigation option gives you, the Porsche kind of their own navigation system, which works very, very well. Actually, I really like that system. Or you can do just Apple CarPlay, or you can do both. Most of the ones that we'll order for our inventory, though, will opt to do just the CarPlay because we have found that's what most of our customers want. That way you can plug in your phone and use either Apple Maps or Google Maps or Waze, or there's multiple different compatible apps in there. So you don't have to learn a new system. It just already does exactly what your phone does, just on the screen that's built into the car. So that's what we've done here. And then performance-wise, this one has the PDK, the dual clutch transmission. So that means you do have 2 clutches at work, and it already has the next gear kind of pre-selected before you engage it. So it makes for very, very quick shifting. Obviously racetrack derived technology. It does actually work nowadays, though, very much like just a regular automatic when you're in drive and just kind of driving normally. Very, very just kind of smooth and easy. Early dual clutch transmissions really didn't work that way. They were pretty clunky. This new one's a lot more refined, but then when you do want it to perform, it's just lightning quick. It's pretty incredible, actually, what it can do, and that really maximizes the performance out of the car. So you can also order them, if you like, with the 6-speed manual transmission, which is awesome and maybe a little bit more engaging. You're definitely part of the drive in that sense, but it's just nowhere near as fast or as efficient as the PDK. And then obviously the PDK is just more kind of convenient as well. So most of our inventory will have that, and that's what we've put in here. We also put in the Sport Chrono package. So that gives you a few things. Firstly, the stopwatch mounted on the dash is part of that package, but then also a little drive mode selector on the steering wheel, which is a little wheel you can turn, and it'll default, the car always will, into normal mode, and then you can turn that switch over into sport mode, and that will sharpen your throttle response. It'll make the shifts later in the revs. It'll shift a little bit faster. It'll also activate the sport exhaust, which is standard on these cars, if you weren't aware of that already. As of 2018, they made sport exhaust standard on all 718 models. So when you press that or switch over into sport mode, it makes the exhaust a little bit more exciting sounding, a little bit louder, and it makes for just more kind of pops and more excitement, right? As well, we did but as well, part of that system is the sport response button, the button in the center of that switch. So you can press that at any time, and it's kind of like a push to pass button. You press that and you have all the power available to you immediately. It gears down and holds the back pressure in the turbos, and you can kind of go immediately. Works very, very well on the highway. There really isn't much lag in these turbos. Obviously that was a problem years ago. Nowadays it really isn't there, but the sport response just eliminates any kind of lag, whether it be transmission or turbo or anything. It's just power immediately there. Now when you press it does give you that 20-second kind of countdown clock. However, you can reset that clock as many times as you like, so you're actually not really limited on the amount that you can use that sport response. And then, of course, the other thing that you get with the Sport Chrono in conjunction with the PDK is launch control. So you can go over further into the Sport Plus mode and have that kind of perfect race start every time from a stop. On this car, Porsche advertises the 0 to 100 kilometers an hour time as, let me see here, 4.2 seconds. Generally, when Porsche advertises a time, it's worst case scenario, so you'll almost always be able to get at least that. But if you do look at other kind of magazine reviews, generally you'll see that the car's actually capable of a little bit more than that. But Porsche wants to be a little bit conservative in the numbers that they advertise. So 4.2 any day of the week, but realistically, probably even a little bit better than that. And as I say, yeah, just really quick car. I love the performance of it. Any options that I've missed here, excuse me while I reference my sheet. The BOSE audio, not sure if I mentioned that one, definitely a worthwhile add. And then lastly, the 2-zone climate control. So this kind of an unknown, I guess, or little known aspect about that system. Some people will say, it's such a small cabin, what's the point of having 2 zones? But the other thing that you get when you get the 2 zone is an actual temperature display in degrees, whereas without it, you just kind of have ticks that you're raising and lowering on the little screen. And I've had a couple of people that say, I didn't realize that. I do want the actual temperature displayed in degrees, so they'll opt for the 2 zone, and you get automatic climate as part of that as well. So little factoid there for you. And yeah, that's equipped here here too, so I've probably blathered on about it enough, but really nice car, really well optioned, and our only actually Cayman S at the moment. Our inventory is starting to thin out, but we do have a couple of standard Caymans and this Cayman S, so I do hope you enjoyed the video, hope you like this car. If you do, come down, pay us a visit, check it out in person. We'd be happy to take you for a test drive as well, and if not, scroll through, check out our other standard Caymans, or of course we can always order you a car as well. So however you want to do it, of course we're always happy to help. Thanks a lot for watching.